Hello everyone, and welcome to the Witch's Gameboard. My name is Melody.
My name is Reuel.
And today we're going to talk about Higurashi no Naku Gou. It's been a long time hecking coming.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Okay, first off, before we jump into the podcast proper, we have to get some organizational stuff out of the way. This is the second episode of our podcast in general, and I had to take a very long break, about a month, maybe even a little bit more. Actually, yeah, a little bit more. Purely because I caught a very nasty cold or flu. I'm not sure what it was, but I was coughing up a storm for like a solid month, to be honest. And I just could not record. Like every time, like even when the big news dropped, which we will talk about in a second, I was really raring to go to record something. Even despite my cough, and literally the next day when we were planning to record, my cough was so bad I literally could not talk. Like it was very unfortunate, but now it seems to be gone. I might still have some ghost coughs here and there, but hopefully that won't impede on the progress of this podcast. Now I have to say that from now on, episodes should be a little bit more frequent. In fact, I want to make them way more frequent.
We'll try to work on that.
Yeah, we'll try to work on that. I definitely want to do more Omineko episodes. I want to slowly jump into stuff like, maybe small news here and there if we get any. And soon we will start Higurashi, hopefully, as well. Not like Higurashi proper, not just talking about the anime. But yes, another organizational thing that I had to get out of the way. We have to say a massive thank you for our new awesome background. As you can see, it's moving.
Our listeners, please imagine a moving background.
Yeah, imagine a cool witch's smoking room, and the background is moving. It's like swirling. So massive thanks to Ed from What the Fuck It's Ed. That's WTF. It's Ed on Twitter.com. Incredible work, actually.
Check him out on Twitter. Check him out on YouTube.
Yeah. Incredible shit posts. Yeah, incredible shit posts, incredible videos, incredible Twitter presence. Shout outs. always a fun time with that little dude. But yeah, and with this, let's jump into our final part of this intro, and that is actually talking about the big news that broke pretty recently, but we are pretty late to the train on discussing this. Holy shit, Rikishi is writing for Silent Hill F.
That is honestly crazy. I don't know about you, but I was staring at my screen for like 2 minutes, not really believing what I was seeing.
You remember my reaction, because I messaged Reuel first about it.
Yeah.
And I was just screaming all caps lock, and no fucking way Rikishi's writing for Silent Hill. If nobody knows what my relationship to Silent Hill is, I honestly can't say I'm like some like Silent Hill fanboy. I wish I was. I just don't really have I didn't really have the opportunity to play all the other games.
Now, in preparation for F,
now I will have to. But I love Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. It has one of the best soundtracks of all time, one of the best horror soundtracks of all time. It's really, really good. And I was the one that forced Reuel here to play through it with me second time.
I enjoyed it a lot. It is a really good game. So Rikishi has said that Silent Hill is his favorite franchise. This is one of his favorite games. Mm-hmm. So, I have high hopes for Silent Hill F, written by him.
I won't lie. After Higurashi and seeing how he can kind of do he can do psychological horror, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really excited to see how he writes for Silent Hill F, especially considering the fact that it does take place in a rural village.
Yeah, it's a Silent Hill without Silent Hill. So if there's anyone who can pull that off, it's definitely Rikishi.
I'm excited for the new Silent Hill to take place in Hinamizawa, to be honest.
Yeah.
When, as I said on my Twitter back during the day of the announcement, when are we going to get Silent Hill F Okonogi? That's what I really want out of this.
True. We see Okonogi. We see suddenly you open the door and there's just Rena with a hatchet standing there.
Based. It's like a zombie with orange hair and not like a zombie because that would be more Resident Evil, but like a creature with orange hair and a hatchet slowly approaching you. like a school uniform.
Just a very creepy low how coming.
How?
Yeah, you can hear that. You shit your pants and you run away.
Yeah. That would be fucking terrifying. What happened to Rena? Shit. That's the nemesis. That's the nemesis enemy of the entire game. It'd be pretty based.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, really looking forward to Silent Hill F. As we said, we're gonna try to maybe put out smaller episodes, more focused on news, if we get more news about it.
Yeah, not just more Baako streams, which please give us any content.
I think we need to do an episode specifically dedicated to Baako, just listing all her crimes against humanity.
Well, multiple genocides ain't gonna cut it, to be honest. There's way too much.
Yeah, the Geneva Convention was not written with Baako in mind.
Well, Baako in mind. So true. I guess that's kind of it for talk about Silent Hill F. Besides, I just want to mention one thing. It was also really cool to see just how When They Cry Twitter kind of exploded when the news were announced. Like, everyone was talking about Silent Hill, and everyone was talking about holy shit, Rikishi, you're so cool. Because I feel like a lot of these I feel like When They Cry, while not being super niche, is still a pretty niche internet community. Usually
I agree. It was cool to see every single When They Cry fan come out of the woods just to acknowledge how awesome this is.
Yeah. It was nice that usually, at least the stereotype is for a lot of niche communities, is that when they go mainstream, they start bitching about it, basically. They go no, you can't go mainstream, this was my little thing. So I'm really happy that a lot of When They Cry fans are just very happy for the creator. That if he finally got this opportunity, this incredible opportunity to write for a AAA game, and one of the best horror franchises at that. That's pretty exciting.
It is really. We're looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to what he does with it. I can almost excuse no Syconia Phase 2. Almost.
No, Syconia Phase 2 will be Silent Hill F. Little do you know.
Yeah, he really said make it bigger, and then just this is how he saw the low sales for Syconia and was like, I know a way to make people read it. and now everyone will have to read it in order to understand Silent Hill F.
So true. When you boot up Silent Hill F, you get a little you get a little intro card.
Keropoyo.
Keropoyo. You get a little intro card saying, if you haven't read Syconia, turn back. It checks your computer for Syconia save files. If you have none, you get booted out. If you have a partial one, it checks your progress, and then it locks off the game at a certain point. But yeah, I think honestly that's it for the news. Really looking forward to it. And now let's jump into the episode proper.
Before that, a reminder that this podcast has spoilers. We'll be discussing Higurashi Gou in its entirety, so it's intended listening/viewing after you finished the anime. We will not be discussing the sequel, Higurashi Sotsu. That will have its own episode in the future.
Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say as well. Usually Arumineko episodes are split into spoilerless and spoilerful sections. Here we won't be doing that because it's an anime, and I feel like we can just go. Plus, no pun intended. Plus, I did not finish Sotsu yet, so this is, Reuel has, but I have not yet. So, just as a disclaimer before we start, I'm treating Go as its own entity without Sotsu to back it up. So I will be a little bit harsh towards it, definitely. But I hope you still have fun listening to this and my take on Go right before I watch Sotsu.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so Higurashi Gou is split into different arcs, different parts, different hins, so to say. And they're actually pretty curious, especially the first three, as they're called Onidamashi hen, Watadamashi hen, and Tataridamashi hen. And, well, if you've played the original Higurashi, you might notice the fact that these are actually reflective of the first three arcs of Higurashi as well. There is a reason for that. They're basically kind of retreads.
Yeah, I think we should start off with this, with the whole marketing scheme, let's call it.
Yeah.
Of calling Higurashi Gou a remake of the Higurashi anime. What do you think about it?
Actually, I do have a story about this. A little bit of a story that I actually never told you. And I just remembered it because this was back in when was this, like? I don't remember exactly when it was. But like when it was announced that it was like, oh, Go was going to be a thing, right? And it started airing. Because I remember, like, as you might know from the previous Umineko episode, if you have watched it, or maybe you're joining us for the first time, then I will say it again. I first got into When They Cry with the Higurashi anime back when I was 13. And basically, I thought, oh, cool, a Higurashi Gou is like a Higurashi remake. I can probably jump back in to like refresh my memory of this anime. It'd be kind of cool, hop on that like hype train and everything. Especially since I had a lot of like people around me who were into Higurashi at the time, and who were like really, really excited for the anime, and it also had like art direction from an artist I really like, the guy who did character designs for Monogatari. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it, and I am so glad I never ended up watching it because I was too lazy. Because holy shit, it ended up being a fucking sequel. And I would be completely spoiled in the original story, which I barely remembered at that point, and which allowed me to get to the V end pretty much unspoiled and blind. So yeah. Very happy I did not do that, first off. Second off, dickish move, Rikishi. Very dickish move.
Yeah, this whole thing is very questionable.
Yeah.
It's obviously we're not inside Rikishi's head. We can't know why he wanted this to happen, or maybe someone else suggested it to him, and he just said he just accepted it. But it did not work. It did not work, and I think it actually made the anime way worse. And I don't mean, obviously, it's a horrible introduction to Higurashi for someone who believed it and watched that first, thinking it's a remake. But I think the quality of the overall storytelling, I should say, suffered because of it, because of this choice.
Yeah. I completely agree. Sadly, that's just the case where the show really pretends to be a remake while hiding very small hints of like, "Whoa, yo, it's a sequel." That's especially like noticeable in the first episode, where the first episode is like straight up just a retelling of Onikakushi. Yeah. Like, I don't think there's anything added there until the very, very end, where you just see Rika with cool red eyes. And I mean, cool. Like at that point, it still could have been a remake. It just showed Rika being sus a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I do think the concept itself is pretty cool. Rika being thrown back into this game that she already won, pretty much, and being like, "What the fuck? Nothing is working the same anymore. All the rules are breaking." I think that is pretty cool. But I feel like it could have been done in a better way.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is kind of a blanket statement, but still, like my main issue, and you will see this repeated a lot, is Go could have been so much more. Go has so much potential, and I feel like it squanders a lot of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unless you have anything to add.
No, I wanted to talk about the thing that is very much connected to our two last points, the looking like a remake, and the fact that the arcs, basically like the names reflect the names, and what happens in them reflects the original story.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if we just disregard marketing this as a remake, I think the story itself really hurts a lot from how much these first three arcs pretend to be the original arcs, and then speedrun through what happened in them, only to have like a really small twist at the end.
Right. It's unfortunate.
It is.
But yeah, we'll get to it once we start like talking about the first twist, but I have a lot of issues. With that kind of formula. So just on a technical, we have a little document where we throw in notes for what we're going to talk about, and this is the first thing I wrote down. Is Keiichi's voice actor is not doing Keiichi's voice.
True.
Especially not in the first episodes.
Yeah, it seems he forgot how to do Keiichi. Everyone else is just
that's fucked up.
Is back how they were.
Mm-hmm.
And Keiichi is just is suddenly like a normal anime protagonist.
Yeah.
Like typical forgettable seasonal anime protagonist.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not a bad voice. It's just not Keiichi. Yeah. I respect the actor's range, but I need my boy back.
Yeah. It took me a while to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, eventually you do, but it's
yeah.
It's something's weird, something's off.
No, yeah, and especially like even if you do get used to it, you later go back to like watch like a clip from the original Higurashi, or you go and be based and be incredible and be super cool and listen to the funny song that Keiichi and Oishi have. And you go, yeah, this is my boy, Who was I listening to all this time? This is the guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate. I don't think this is specifically the fault of the dude. If anything, of the voice actor, I think we should. mostly blame the voice director for this, for not spotting that and not keeping it consistent. But it's fine. It's fine. He still does a great performance, still a great job. I just wish his voice was a bit more like his original incarnation. It's a little bit distracting. But it's not. It's
still
not
a
as
good
bad
performance.
as I guess we're making it. Yeah. It's still great.
It's still cagey, but
Like
it's just slightly different.
Yeah, and that should not make sense. Like if this was like a time skip Keiichi, then it would make sense. But considering that it's like still Showa, what was it, 53? Yeah, 58. My bad. Shit. Considering that it's still Showa 58, like give us back the cool, little stinker Keiichi. That's what I want. But yeah. Let's jump back a little bit in our discussion, because I already mentioned Rika with red eyes, and
end of episode 1.
Technically this is jumping forward, but you know, this is the timeline of this podcast is going all over the place, but it's fine. We get the original OP as the ending song for the episode 1.
We do. That was...
God, I wish they used the original OP more in this.
True. I mean...
Like, I actually got so excited about the thought of having the original OP reanimated in Gou's style.
Yeah, I would love that, but I don't think I would like if, like, the OP of every episode was just the old OP again.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like, for me, what I would want to get is until Nekodamashi. Like Onidamashi, Watadamashi, and Tataridamashi. Those having the original OP would make a lot of sense, I think. And then as soon as Nekodamashi hits, we actually get the Gou OP.
I guess. I think for me the best way would be like to have episode 2 to have the original OP reanimated at the beginning. Like we got it at the end of episode 1, then we get it at the beginning of episode 2.
Yeah.
Because episode 2, like you mentioned, episode 1 still could be a remake. Episode 2, Hanyu appears.
Hanyu appears out of nowhere, like, yo.
Completely ruining it for any new watchers.
So-called beginner-friendly Higurashi piece of media. It immediately introduces one of the biggest secret of the hacking VN.
That was only revealed in episode 7.
Yeah. Like what? Like that's like 80 hours in? You know, like, yeah, sure, just reveal that. Just reveal that second episode. Sure. Super beginner-friendly, by the way.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying, like, maybe if episode 2 still had the original OP, then, you know, it will be cool because you start episode 2 still thinking that it's a remake, and then you get the reveal like, oh no, it's not. It's actually not. It's a whole new thing. And then episode 3 onwards, you get the new opening, the actual Gou opening.
Oh, that'd be really cool. I just want to see that original opening reanimated. There's something so sad about the fact that now I think, at least on YouTube, every time I watch the OG OP, it's like it's only in DVD quality. Like we can't get it super high quality. I don't even know if we have the original Higurashi like Dean anime on Blu-ray.
I mean, probably. It was a really huge anime, but you know.
It was a really huge anime, but I feel like with time it kind of people lost interest, I guess. And there was that big revival around Gou, right? Like everyone was talking about Higurashi. I'm gonna actually quickly check. You know, Jimmy, please check for me if Higurashi had a Blu-ray release.
Pull that up, Jim. What's the name?
Pull that
Jamie.
up, Jim.
Jamie, put that on the screen.
Yeah, put that on the screen.
Wait, we're now Joe Rogan.
We have Higurashi Blu-rays. God, no, please.
Joe Rogan watches Higurashi, please.
Joe Rogan
please,
Higurashi
I
podcast.
need to see that.
You know, when you listen to some of his guests, it's already like enough, right? That shit sounds like someone on Hinamizawa syndrome.
I think Joe Rogan would love Tsumi Horoboshi.
Well, true.
He loves Rena.
He's like, well, you know, Rena is an intellectual. I mean, but yeah. Anyways, apparently, you know, looking at it, I have looked. Yes, Higurashi no Naku Koroni is in fact on Blu-ray. So I have no idea why is there no better upload of the opening. Actually, still, I want a cooler one. Not a cooler one necessarily. I want another take on it because that one was really beautiful, and I love the flower motif of it. It's really cool.
It is a really good opening, but I like the Go opening. What do you think?
The Go opening is really good.
It?
Oh, I actually love it. I've spent a lot of time recently just listening to the song. There's definitely a lot to like about it. The visuals are really cool, especially at the very beginning and at the very end. But I do wish there was a little bit more variety in it. My main issue with it is that the middle part is mostly filled with panning shots and like that one really, really long shot of Rika running that like takes up the entire chorus. And I don't mind too much. I still like the opening a lot, but I definitely think it would be better if it had a little bit more variety in what it's showing. But yeah, no, overall Gou's OP is great. I'm thinking like I definitely would not put it over the original just because of how creative the original is and how fucking great the song is. But I maybe am, and this is controversial because I know Kai means a lot to people. But I feel like I'd put it over that one. I'd put it over the second opening.
Wow, okay. Does Higurashi Gou opening have a cool My Little Pony version of it? Don't think so.
Never mind. Yeah, never mind. That opening is better. Just on the virtue of having the My Little Pony parody. It's true.
Yeah, I think the Go OP is really good, but I think I like Kai's more.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I guess this would be my least favorite Higurashi opening, but it's just because all of them are good. Yes, I am counting Kira too. The Kira opening is the best one out of them all.
Happy lucky. Yes. But I don't know, like, again, my opinion is not set in stone. I'm completely open to the fact that I'll probably, when next time I listen to Kai's opening, I'll be like, wait, this is so much better than Gou's. Bye. But yeah,
but until then.
Yeah, until then. This is my official ranking. Prepared to, like, you know, once we get that Sotsu podcast up and running, I'm gonna be like, oh, actually, I changed my mind.
I mean, you haven't heard it yet, but I really like the Sotsu opening. I think it's
yeah,
it's
I've heard it. Huh? I mean, okay, for context for people, you listen here. For context for people here, I have, since finishing Go, I watched one episode of Sotsu. But that's it. That's all I know.
Damn, the Witch's Gameboard podcast lies? Exclamation
Witch's Gameboard podcast
mark?
is having a logic error.
They said at the beginning that they haven't watched Sotsu, and now the truth comes out.
Oops. Oopsies. Okay, but let's start talking about the actual show. So Hanyu lost her fucking powers. Like, not all of them, but like most of them.
Yeah, Hanyu's... I mean, we can talk about it now. Hanyu's gonna pop up a couple more times in the next arcs. And she doesn't...
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything. Do much.
Yeah, she just kind of hangs out in the fragment dimension.
In the Sea of Fragments. By the way, yeah, we get the new... we should talk about that. We get a new look for the Sea of Fragments. What do you think about it?
I actually really like it. I do have my own like thoughts of how the Sea of Fragment looks. Yeah, of it. And I feel like Gou's is pretty close to that. And I do like it a lot.
I really like the inverted, really like pretty. The ruins around, like the inverted shrine.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty sick. I always enjoy the sections that take place in the Sea of Fragments. About Hanyu, we have to talk about Hanyu, because this show does something like this is my first major gripe with the show. Well, to say it's major, not really, but it's like, you know, it's a medium gripe. I can't say it's minor, but I can say it's major. Hanyu and Hanyu's story, like Hanyu's role in the story, really confuses me. We have, like, Hanyu was really important to the original Higurashi. I feel like she was there for Rika a lot. She was a Yashiro-sama, yeah. But I mean, like, she was there for Rika in episode 7. Then she actually comes to Hinamizawa in episode 8, like, as a human, and basically stays with the club. And the fact that, like, after Saikoroshi, apparently she disappears at some point. No, I've heard takes that Hanyu disappears during Saikoroshi, and I don't remember that.
Like,
but
yeah,
again, I've read Saikoroshi a little
her, like, monologuing over Rika sleeping in the
and then disappearing, right?
Hospital. So some people's interpretation is that that's when she disappeared.
I see. Well, what bothers me about this is that we get Gou, which is a sequel. And when Rika sees Hanyu after, like, years, and that is years because we know later that is years of separation, she goes, "What the fuck? Why am I here again? Why are you here?" Like, no, like, oh my god, Hanyu, where have you been all this time? Like, I missed you. I don't know, anything. They spent like an eternity together and were finally separated. And it's not like they parted on bad terms. Not at all. Like, they are really close.
Yeah, they were like closer than Rika was to her own mom and dad.
Yeah, like, technically Hanyu is basically like a caretaker for Rika for most of the, like, loop stuff. So I just find it really weird that, like, Rika doesn't react more strongly towards the fact that Hanyu is there, and more so reacts to the fact that, shit, I'm in this situation again. Which would be kind of understandable, but I really need that, like, I need that gravitas for Hanyu to be there. And also to add to that, this is skipping ahead to Satoko Washi, but the club doesn't really mention the fact that Hanyu is gone. Like, even when we have that little scene with the club hanging out, like the reunion where they hang out, they play games, they never mention Hanyu. Like, okay, they mention her offhand, not using her name, but, like,
I think, like,
not enough.
I guess it's like she disappeared, and the way that happened, she can erase herself from people's memories. But once again, like, we need to hear this, we need to see this happening.
Yeah.
Because we just get Rika talking to Hanyu like normal, being angry that she's stuck in Hinamizawa again. And then we get to Satoko Washi, where we finally see what happened in between this time, between 983 and whenever Rika came back. And Hanyu is just gone. Yeah. And it's a big thing to just overlook, to never mention.
It's very jarring. This will start a thematic plot line. In my personal analysis of Gou, I have a strong conspiracy theory that the people writing this show, did not read or like fully understand Higurashi.
Dragging Rikishi, huh?
I mean, okay, Rikishi wrote like a general outline for the plot. The people who wrote the dialogue were, I'm pretty sure, were not Rikishi.
Yeah, he was not the scriptwriter.
Yeah, so like I really feel like the scriptwriter was just like maybe they were told like a little bit like little blurbs about the characters and their personalities, but that's kind of it. Like I don't like all of these complex relationships within the character sphere. I feel like it completely missed, and we'll see so much more of that later on. I guess that's it for Hanyu for now. Poor Hanyu.
Poor Hanyu. She's a great character.
She's a great character. As much as the fandom likes to riff on her, haha, funny stupid goat. She's great. I don't know. I like her.
They just like to bully her, really just like Rika.
Yeah. She's very likable though.
Yeah.
I like her.
Great character.
Okay, so Onidamashi. So you would say, okay, so it's Onikakushi again. Well, not really. It's kind of Onikakushi, but flipped on its head. Then, like, instead of Keiichi being fucking terrified of nothing and ending up really hurting his friends, we actually have a scenario where Keiichi's fears were justified, and Rika trying to fix everything using the old rule system actually fucks up everything instead. And, well, I also have some thoughts about this. I don't really get where Rena, where Rena is coming from, I guess, because it's obvious that the writers want to use the Hinamizawa syndrome as the reason again for Rena going insane, right, or whatever. But she just doesn't seem to be actually portraying any of the symptoms of the Hinamizawa syndrome outside of like scratching her neck. If that makes sense.
Yeah, she just behaves like normal until like a switch is flipped and she's suddenly murdering Keiichi.
Yeah, because like Hinamizawa syndrome is a very detailedly outlined illness in this world, where it's basically characterized by extreme paranoia and loss of inhibition. And to see Rena basically plot this murder, go insane laughing, and beat the shit out of Keiichi, it doesn't seem like she's paranoid. She's not scared of Keiichi. She just kind of does stuff, you know? Because even in the original anime, we see that these, like, during the murders and everything, these people are going through some shit. They're fucking, like, it looks like they're fucking terrified, especially Keiichi's first, like, Onikakushi murder, right? Like, he looks like he's fucking going off his rocker, but that's just not the case here. And it's like it's making me worried. It's making me worried for the rest of this, considering the fact that, like I said, it feels like a lot of writers just did not read Higurashi. And I feel like, again, maybe I'm just like putting a little bit too much on the original Higurashi. I feel like the Hinamizawa syndrome was actually an allegory for something very real, and I feel like if you change it in such a substantial way, it might destroy that allegory. More on that later, maybe. Okay. So
Onidamashi.
Onidamashi.
You said, like, its biggest problem is that it's basically, and that's gonna be a problem for the next two arcs too, it's basically Onikakushi. Like one or two things changed, and then at the end you get a twist that it's actually way different. Something way different happens, and then it ends.
Yeah. Right. So I will say though that the ending is pretty cool. Like, remind me if I'm wrong, but isn't that when like Keiichi like gets up in the hospital and like No, was it?
Yeah, he wakes up in the hospital. He talks to, I think, Oishi. And he learns that he miraculously survived. Lena did not. And that Satoko and Rika are also dead.
Yeah, that. Yeah. That was really cool. That reminds me of the ending of the original Watadamashi, where you get this like central conflict with Mion, Rena, and Keiichi, right? All of this happening, and then right at the very, very end, you get Oishi basically telling Keiichi like, "Yo, by the way, we found a bunch of bodies at the bottom of the well." You know, like that. That stuff gives me goosebumps. Like, what the hell happened? You know, what happened? What happened to them? And we don't find out, I guess, until Sotsu.
We'll see.
Yeah. Onidamashi in general is an arc that's plagued by a lot of issues that Gou is plagued with, especially like I think it's a microcosm for the first half of the show. And honestly, it is a little bit sad to say that because it does not put its best foot forward. But I cannot say I was not having fun with it. One thing I will say is that the Rena twist was incredibly rushed, and because it does not have enough time to develop these, it basically just feels like shock factor. I get that like anime will not ever have enough time like the visual novel does, but I feel like at that point you have to fundamentally restructure how these arcs work, instead of going for this like slice of life slowly going batshit insane, you know, because you cannot go slow in an anime that only allows like 3 episodes per arc. You cannot go slow. You have to go fast, and it does feel really abrupt, especially here because like the entire thing is Onidamashi, deception of the demon, right? So you get like you basically get Onikakushi, and then to deceive you, it just throws in Rena at the end, and I guess it kind of makes sense, but it feels like it comes out of nowhere. And it feels really cheap. Like there is no like that big payoff at the end where it's like, you know, either the character's fears get confirmed or like, you know, something like insane happens, but actually is built up to. No, it's just something insane happens for shock factor, and that's it. And it's a little bit of a step down from the original series that really worked for its climaxes, I guess.
Kishi's writing was really good in that.
Yeah, definitely.
As you said, the slow ramping up of tension from the peaceful life to shit going down, and here it's just way too abrupt.
Yeah, definitely. All right. With that, I think we can move on to Watadamashi, the arc I can barely pronounce. I don't know why I have so much trouble saying Watadamashi. It's just there's something in my with my specific vocal cords that are like
it's just a lot of A's.
This. I think so. Yeah, it's just Watadamashi. Yeah, that's a lot. Anyways, so this is basically a retread of Makashi, which is kind of cool, I guess. The fact that it's Makashi and not actually Watanagashi. Like you get a lot of stuff that is only seen in Makashi, I'm pretty sure.
You get a few.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's another retelling of an existing arc.
Ooh, exciting. Whoa, we have never seen this before. Whoa. And honestly, I really don't have much to say about this one.
Here the changes are more substantial than Onidamashi.
Yeah, like Keiichi immediately giving Mion the doll, for example.
Yeah. It was a cool scene, but again, it's a scene we already seen in Minagoroshi.
Right. No, you don't get it. It's beginner friendly.
True. Oh, true.
We have to show it again.
True.
Even though people don't fucking know what the meaning of a doll is if they never seen the if they've never read the original VN.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it in there.
You know. Yeah, it just is there. And but I guess they change more in this, like the whole thing about Rika disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this time it's at school, but not from their home. And the ladder scene is here again in a slightly different way, but it's the same scene.
Yeah, but I like the ladder scene. It's pretty cool. It's a little bit insane that it just happens in school out of nowhere. And I think the broad daylight lighting kind of kills the vibe like a little bit. As the original scene takes place like pitch dark.
This is a problem that I have a lot with Go. There's a lot of scenes that are just way too bright.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll get to that with one of the recaps. Oh god.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But some like this scene does not work that well when it's just a sunny day. And then suddenly Mion is acting weird. I think it's way worse than
I think it still works. Like it works in that way that's like, wow, this is literally happening in broad daylight. I'm about to be killed in broad daylight and no one will even notice. You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of neat, but I don't think it works the same as like being like behind the shrine, pitch black, people are far away. You are searching for your friend and suddenly your other friend goes fucking insane.
What do you think about the rest that happens? Because this time the ending is less abrupt in its deviation.
It's less abrupt, but at the same time, I don't know. I guess there is like a little bit of a paranoia element to it, which is nice to see again. With Mion basically going, oh yeah, I will protect you, Keiichi, and she throws him into a cage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, I still think it's a little bit abrupt, and I won't lie, this one is really lame. Okay, it's cool to see Mion go lesbians 5, right? It's cool to see her go L5.
I didn't know what you meant by that for a second, but yeah, it's interesting. Like I think in one of the interviews, she said that we've never seen Mion go and like succumb to Nomizawa syndrome.
Yeah.
So if this was Mion, then it's interesting that how this happened.
But I don't know. It's just, it feels really weird, especially with like the doll scene being there again. But I think that's kind of sort of the point of the Damashi arcs, to confuse you. But at the same time, I don't know if I like that point. I don't know if it's good writing to be like, okay, let's set up everything so it's perfect, and then whoa, suddenly it goes wrong in a completely different, unrelated way. That is very contrived for whatever reason. The only thing I will say about Watadamashi that is really cool to me is one of the final shots with Satoko actually entering the mansion. That is really cool.
Wait, what?
I will admit.
You think that's cool? To me, that was horrible.
I think it's cool that she just enters and it's not explained.
I guess I think it's intrigue. too big of a hint. Like it's
okay.
It's okay. I know you were spoiled and I was spoiled. But assuming that someone comes into this not knowing that Satoko is the culprit here, this was too big of a hint, I think.
No,
this was just straight up
think
confirmation, and I think in my
eyes. Nah.
I know there's people who figured it out like from one shot in the opening. From like episode 2 or whatever, they were already on this.
The Satoko culprit theory.
Yeah, but this is just, you know, like they could have done something else hinting at this without being this explicit, this like, you know, explicit. This
it's explicit with it, yeah.
Specifically showing her coming in.
I mean, it's not like this. It's not the first time we have seen like a character go into the Sonozaki mansion. So I don't think it was that big of a hint, to be honest. Like it would just be like, oh, you shit, Satoko's gonna get owned for, next, you know. I don't think it was specifically would point to her as the new looper.
I don't think Satoko has like many reasons to be there. And then there's this whole thing from Mion, like, oh, the she calls her like a pawn of them or whatever, like their puppet or whatever, like, you know, clearly under the Hinamizawa syndrome. Thinking that they are enacting the Oyashiro-sama's curse, and they somehow like, I think this would work if we were shown Satoko like working with someone, I guess. I guess like if, you know, if we were shown a shot of her talking to Oishi or like the police and then walking in, you know, then we have I think that would work way better, because we would see there would be a repeat of Watadamashi, where Rena and Keiichi were basically bait that walked into the mansion before police could bust into the place. But without that, Satoko just appearing is, I would say, a big hint.
Yeah, I see that. Okay. So, enough about Watadamashi. Honestly, I think Watadamashi is really dull. So, we go on to Tataridamashi. And say hello to everyone's favorite character.
Favorite guy.
Favorite dude. The one and only, the great Teppei Hojo.
You sound so excited. I know this is your favorite character.
I don't. Like, he's not. I hate Teppei with a passion. And I think very, very deservedly so. He's probably my least favorite When They Cry character. Not like in a he's written badly. I hate his guts.
Yeah, I think he's written really well. And he's just a very hateable character. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a piece of garbo. Every time I see Teppei on the screen, you know, I get a little bit sick to my stomach. Horrible dude. Anyway, we get another Teppei moment. Teppei comes in. Well, Tatari Goroshi should already clue you into the fact that, like, you know, that Teppei will come in. But we actually get a cool Mina Goroshi segment where we actually get to save Satoko. Yay, very cool.
I'm gonna be a hater.
Then, yeah, go on.
I did not like this arc and this segment at all. Because it was basically Mina Goroshi, but this time with like it was Onidamashi again, like no changes at all. Like at all. And then
no, didn't we get like, okay, wait, I'm worried that this is like, I might have confused it with Watadamashi, but doesn't Rika go fucking berserk? Like, at some point she goes like, fuck, this world is not, like, this world is doomed anyways, fuck this.
I mean, yeah, but that's all, she also does that in the Mina Goroshi.
Yeah.
She just says that she doesn't. She gives up, and then Kenji, being cool that he is, actually decides to do direct action. But my problem is that this Minagoroshi retelling for some reason skipped one of the best scenes in Minagoroshi. That is the final phone call.
Oh god, yeah.
And her actually standing up to Teppei, relying on her friends. The main thing of the arc. Yeah, all the Satoko scenes of showing the way that these are gone.
Gou's supposed to be because Gou's supposed to be Satoko's little thing because she's the looper now, and it's completely omitted, which is wild. By the way, I really quickly looked it up, and there is Watadamashi has one cool thing, and that's the Rika freakout thing.
Oh, okay. Now I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really good. I really like that one.
Yeah, after they go into the ceremonial shed, Keiichi talks to her the next day, and she just...
Yeah, she just goes insane. I really like how it parallels the original scene where she just goes where she really tries to be supportive. Yeah, where she tries to be supportive to Keiichi. In this one, she just loses her shit at him. She's like, fuck this world and fuck you. All you had to do is stay fucking put.
Yeah.
So done.
She had a Joker moment.
Oh yeah, and that Joker moment was sick. So big ups. One thing, one good thing for Watadamashi. That was pretty fun. Okay, so Tataridamashi again, most of it, not much to say, to be honest. All the interesting stuff with it happens at the very end, where we get the funny Keiichi gets fucking owned by Teppei scene.
Yeah. I think this is a good moment to talk about it, but or no, maybe let's talk about it later. The gore in the show. We'll discuss it later. That will be a relevant scene.
I think the perfect time to discuss Higurashi Gou will be next arc, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have
this scene is very gory. Let's just say
this scene is very gory, yeah. And then it's cool that we get Keiichi waking up in the hospital and going, oh shit, everyone else is fucking dead, by the way. And then, we get L5 Oishi, which in concept is very interesting to see. But again, I'm worried because the Hinamizawa syndrome once again seems to just be crazy killer syndrome. With Oishi just spouting bullshit and just going, I'm gonna scratch my neck.
He's scratching his neck and saying itchy, itchy.
Itchy, and he shoots me on. Again, to be honest, that was pretty fucking sick. We don't see use of guns in Higurashi at all.
We don't see guns at all. Remember the original Mion sprite?
Oh yeah,
where she had a gun on her, and then that was never used or mentioned. So for later sprites, they just removed it.
Removed it. Yeah. It was really cool to see a gun actually being used, but otherwise, it's the Oishi freakout scene. It happens. It's interesting. He's a real bastard, by the way.
Yeah. He's a cop.
But, of course, comes with the profession.
What? Which is Gameboard podcast is political? Question mark?
Oops.
Well, sorry to all of our non-political viewers / listeners.
Non-political viewers, yeah. Hopefully never will happen again. But this is a strictly anti oishi podcast. No, not really. But yeah. I mean,
like, is there more Tataridamashi? Again, it's the same thing. It's an arc we've already seen with one or two changes, and then with the big explosive ending, which is very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, but it still has issues even with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, again, I was still having fun at this point. And this actually neatly transitioned into Nekodamashi. Heyo, future editing Melody here. Considering the fact that we ended up talking a lot about Nekodamashi and Satokowashi, we decided to split this episode of The Witch's Gameboard into 2 parts. Feel free to take a break. The link to the second part of the episode should either be on the screen or in the description below. See you on the other side.